Hey, what's happening everybody? Welcome back. Electrified Rider here. Well, we've got inclement weather outside, heavy rains, winds, so I'm unable to get out for a ride today. But in a recent video, I'd shared with you some seated riding on the veteran Sherman S EUC, and I had mentioned how I had placed an aftermarket seat on this wheel, and I'm going to share that with you today. So here's the seat I chose to install, and this is a Honda Rebel passenger seat. You can get these secondhand on eBay, and there's also some knockoff brands out there making these seats brand new, but they don't look as plush, they don't look as legit as the actual Honda seat. So I went with the best quality used seat that I could find, and it ran me about $80 USD, which is still only about half the price of some of the other seats that are out there on the market. So right now I can report I'm extremely happy with this install. This seat is working out beautifully. It adds a few inches to the top of the EUC, making it easier to get down to the seated position. And it is very nice and plush. But I think one of the greatest points to highlight is the overall dimensions. The size of this seat is just a perfect fit for this wheel. You can see how it just almost perfectly aligns with either side of the wheel, doesn't protrude out on the sides, interfering with standard riding. And it also allows for full view of the screen here and access to all the different functions and settings. Some of the other aftermarket seats I see out there are actually blocking and covering this up. Some even make it hard to get to the charge port up here in front. So I really do enjoy the dimensions of this seat. But one of the absolute best features is that you can still completely access the trolley handle with no issues at all. So you can still trolley your wheel around without having to make any other adjustments. Now, I actually picked up this idea from a fellow YouTuber, Matthew Tech Moto. He put out a complete video showing the install and some of the supplies you need, which is just really some nuts and bolts to get the seat on the wheel. So I will put a link down below to his channel and that video specifically if you want to go check it out. But thank you, Matthew, for your contribution to the EUC community. I know I'm not the only one who took you up on this idea, and it is definitely a winner. Now, the install goes really smooth, as the seat has a couple bolt pegs that are actually attached to the seat itself. So all you need to do is put a couple holes in the bottom, and I'll talk about how I got that accomplished, and attach some of these nuts here. And the one thing I did different is I attached a third bolt here towards the front of the seat. So I put a bolt upward, and through this little tongue that's also part of the seat, it's attached, and then added a bolt right there. It was a perfect fit. But you could also use zip ties to get that front section of the seat attached. But really, that only took an extra couple minutes, and we've got a really firm and secure custom seat now installed on the Sherman S, nice and clean. Now, if you do decide to do a similar install, I will just throw out another quick tip. Now, you're going to need the holes that you create in your trolley handle to perfectly align with the bolts on the seat. And the way I accomplished that is I just took a bit of whiteout and I dabbed the tip of each one of those bolts and then put the seat down on top of the trolley handle in the position I wanted it. And that left two markings on top where those holes need to be. And in the front, I was able to just eyeball because I put the bolt in myself. And then what I did, because the trolley handle on the Sherman is a hard plastic, is I took a hot soldering iron and I put some pilot holes there first. That way when I drilled the holes out, everything went nice and smooth and the holes turned out perfect. So again, check out Matthew's video if you want to see the nuts and bolts that you need to purchase. And I ended up using a 5/16 inch drill bit to make those holes. Everything went together nice and snug. This is a wonderful setup, guys. I can't recommend it enough. You can check out some of my recent video uploads and see just how easy I'm able to transition from standing to seated and seated to standing position. So really, having this seat installed has opened up a whole new world as far as riding goes on the veteran Sherman S EUC. So that's going to do it for this video, my friends. I do appreciate you stopping by, checking out the content. If you feel like you got any value or even entertainment out of this video, I sure would appreciate if you hit that like button. And if you haven't already, consider subscribing to the channel. New uploads coming out every week, and I'm always switching up the content, trying to bring you value. So with that, have yourself a great rest of the day. Until next time, this is Electrified Rider. Take care. I'll be talking to you again soon.